Hey guys, happy Monday. Thanks for stopping by for another episode here at alliseeisW. In today's video, we'll be talking about latest updates with Ethereum, as well as covering updates with BitMine, BMNR stock led by Chairman Tom Lee. We'll go through technical analysis predictions using technical indicators for ETH and BMNR, what the upside is now a time to buy, sell, or hold. Now, if you enjoy this content, I would really appreciate you smashing the like, subscribing for more related content. Let's get started, guys. Poseidon poses they shook out weak hands below $2,000 before pushing ETH up to 5,000, and now they're shaking out weak hands below 4,000 before sending it to 10,000. So put in the comments how high you think Ethereum's going to be going in this cycle. Is it going to be 6,000? Is it going to be 7,000? 8,000 or 10,000. Put it in the comments how high you think Ethereum is going. Crypto Goose posts ETH supply shock confirmed. Prepare accordingly. So just look at this. I mean, on the exchange, look at how much is available. It continues to go down. So law of economics, when you have low supply of something, price generally goes up. So, we're going to see that correlation with price to go up along with M2 global money supply as we see liquidity increasing. That's going to correlate with price of Bitcoin and Ethereum to start skyrocketing as well. And this is really why financial institutions like BlackRock, Grayscale, Fidelity, they're loading up Ethereum right now. They're staking. They see the value, and that's why they're buying as much as they possibly can get. Crypto Gucci posts Ethereum had more stablecoin inflows than all other chains combined in the past 24 hours. Let's take a look at this. We have Ethereum, just bypassing all of the different exchanges that we have in place. This is a huge, I mean, the last 24 hours, top stable coin supply changes, we see a rising uptick with Ethereum, especially with tokenization, stable coins, you name it. Lots of developers are feeding onto the Ethereum blockchain. Arkham Post is Tom Lee just bought another $250 million worth of Ethereum. Three new addresses just bought a total of 250 million ETH from BitGo and Kraken. These accounts match BitMine's prior acquisition pattern. Will Tom Lee ever stop buying? I mean, we hear about the alchemy of 5%. They've already got above, 2.5% of that goal, so well over 50%. In fact, they're like 52, 53%. Are they going to increase 5% alchemy to 10% alchemy, for example? They're targeting, by February, get to 5% alchemy. Are they going to ramp up the stakes and, eventually own 10% of the total ETH supply? Mia posts, this year Tom Lee Fundstrat was a star at Token 2049 Singapore with the most amount of views on both Keynote Wall Street's biggest macro shift since the gold standard and the panel The Rise of Digital Asset Treasuries. On his keynote, Tom made some powerful statements. He said 1971 was a moment the dollar went synthetic. 2025 is a moment finance goes fully on chain. People still think stablecoins are a crypto story. They're actually a US geopolitical strategy. Wall Street didn't accept the end of the gold standard. It built an entire financial system to make sure the dollar stayed dominant. That's exactly what they're doing with stablecoins today. Tom made some extremely bullish statements for Ethereum. Here's some of them. Bitcoin is digital gold. Ethereum is a financial rails Wall Street is migrating to. Bitcoin was a rebellion. Ethereum is the most institutional settlement layer. Bitcoin is where wealth is stored. Ethereum is where the power is settling. In 1971, the US dollar lost its backing but gained a financial empire. Ethereum is about to have its own version of that moment. If half of the world's financial activity goes on chain, the chain that settles it becomes bigger than any bank or exchange. Today, that chain is Ethereum. These are all quotes from his keynote. If right, these are some of the turning points to pay attention to. Stablecoins crossing $1 trillion in United States treasuries marks the flip. Crypto becomes largest financier of US debt. SEC Project Crypto Progress signals official Wall Street migration into on-chain rails. Swift experimenting with ETH Layer 2 settlement systems moving irreversible institutional anchor, AI plus blockchain intersection, proof of human machine royalties, real-time data oracles, entirely new financial primitive categories beyond DeFi trading. Each staking yield becoming financial baseline, Ethereum becomes a native yield curve, replaces treasury rates on chain. ETH Bitcoin ratio breakout above 0.087 confirms ETH narrative flip to institutional dominance. I recommend watching this keynote, whether you agree or not with the statements above. So definitely very bullish, and he was the man at the event, and this is why we BMNR. Max TFSA posts BMNR reports holdings of 3.2 million tokens of Ethereum, cash on hand, 219 million total ETH repurchased last week, over 203,000 ETH. I mean, today, BMNR, they announced their total HODL, 3.24 million tokens, and they have total crypto cash holdings of 13.4 billion worth of assets. This is huge. I mean, they now own 2.7% of ETH token supply, passing halfway point as it moves towards the alchemy of 5%. MNAV continues to rise. BitMine leads crypto treasury peers by both the velocity of raising capital, NAV per share, and by high trading liquidity of BMNR stock. BitMine is a third 33 most traded stock in the US, trading $2.1 billion per day. That's just huge. I mean, BitMine remains supported by a premier group of institutional investors, including ARK, founders Fund, Bill Miller, Pantera, Kraken, Galaxy Digital, you name it. People love tomlee. He is the MSTR, the sailor of Ethereum. Treasury Edge posts tomlee and BitMine. BMNR currently owns 12.85 billion worth of Ethereum. So he's the man right now on the street. Donald Dean posts his assessment on BMNR technical analysis. So price target's $54, $60. He says BMNR exceeded the first target, but then pulled back. Price is at the volume shelf, a potential launch area. The next targets are at the volume shelves. After those hit, the next target is $71 for a full retrace of the move from August. So definitely do see the use case of $74. Let's say ETH breaks, gets to that all-time high, 5,000 per ETH. We definitely can see, $74 for the price of, BMNR stock. Let's go through technical analysis of Ethereum right now. So what are we seeing on the chart? So what I'm seeing is just overall, sentiment with where we are right now. Obviously, we see some nice, support at the 0.618 fib levels, and soon we may very well see a breakout to the upside, get back above the 1 fib level, break its all-time high, break above 5,000. We haven't had that yet. Back in July, we had overbought conditions and it's been cooling off. Relative strength has been steadily declining. I think this is where we're seeing a bull flag continuation. We're going to start breaking out. Q4 generally, very solid. Around this time last year, we had Bitcoin run up like 100%. I definitely do think Ethereum is going to have that big breakout as well. With the use case really changing, financial institutions are buying. BMNR, they're buying as well on the dips. And soon enough, it's going to get more expensive. Last momentum candle we got was September 29. It's been over 3 weeks now. So any minute now, we're going to get that red candle turn on, and soon enough, we're going to start seeing it start climbing up. Today was definitely a good day to see, crypto moving up. Yes, it had a slight retracement, but BMNR had a solid, consistent day, over 7% gain. I think as we head into the rest of 2025, I see potentially we can break above the golden ratio 1.618 Fibonacci level. This is the time Q4 is where it's at. Yes, first 20 days of October, it hasn't really, done significant moves, but now where we've shaken out all the, the bad hands, soon enough, we're going to see it start climbing up. Let's take a look at technicals of BMNR. So definitely a good day today. I mean, over 7% gain. What I am seeing on the charts is, we got the Elliott wave playing out. And I think because we've finished with wave four. Now it's just going to be a continuation to the upside. I think we're going to hit above that, 0.78 Fibonacci level. Once we break above $62, we're going to continue that ascending channel, get, to the one Fibonacci. Let's see if we can hold support there and, whether it can bounce above that, get, towards the range of the 1.414 Fibonacci. That's possible as well. Volumes increasing, whales are beginning to load up because they see the upside. And I think supply and demand continues to rise as the quantity of Ethereum available continues to get more scarce. And that's going to result in BMNR, MNAV to increase. Share price is going to increase as well. Last when I checked, 1.34 MNAV. I think it's going to continue to go up as we see the price, going up as well. So in the next couple of weeks, I could see, with ETH breaking above 5,000, we may very well climb above this, Fibonacci level of 71 plus. 77 to 88 is where I think we're going to start consolidating.
How big could ETH get? How big, I hate the term market cap because it's not applicable. Your company has a market cap. ETH doesn't have a market cap, has a market size.
He has a network value.
What is the current value of all the ETH in the world? How big do you think it could get? Because working backwards, that's what the 5% stake in ETH, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. So it's about 480 billion right now of fully diluted network value.
Okay.
But
is the supply contracting or not yet?
It's actually growing about 1%.
Growing 1%.
Slower than Bitcoin's inflation rate.
Okay.
It's actually a third of Bitcoin's inflation rate.
Okay. How big do you think that could be?
Well, I think that there is a very high probability, I'm going to say maybe even 50%, that Ethereum's network value will flip Bitcoin's.
Wow.
Like when?
The flipping.
Maybe in a couple of years.
People have been saying this for a long time.
Yeah.
How much bigger is Bitcoin now? Is it
it's 2.2 trillion right now.
And ETH is what, 400 billion?
Yeah.
All right.
But you're not an ETH maxi. You think?
I'm not. I'm still a Bitcoin bull. I think Bitcoin's going to 1 million, but I'm saying like Ethereum's relative size, the ratio will actually be 1-to-1.
So there you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this content. You heard tomlee saying ETH at one point, its market value will flip Bitcoin relative to just rate of return. So if you enjoyed this content, please make sure to smash the like, subscribe, and share it with a friend. Thanks, guys.